All right, welcome back to the Luke and Connor podcast. This will technically be our first episode with video. Last week was supposed to be our first episode, but we ran into some difficulties. We scheduled an artist interview because if you remember, we had to delay it a week. So it came. We did the entire interview. It was a good interview. It was a good episode. I was hyped to put it out. But unfortunately, the artist we were interviewing, his like video corrupted when he was trying to export it. So it just got like erased from the entire his entire hard drive. So we just lost all of that, which is so unfortunate. So that's why we were missing last week, which kind of sucks, but oh well, we'll get over it.
It happens.
Yep, it happens. You just gotta move on. But today we're gonna be talking about hip hop conspiracy theories, which is gonna be an interesting episode. I think me and Connor both have been wanting to do this one for a while, just
Yeah, I'm pretty
because
excited for it.
I think it's a pretty entertaining topic, but like viewer discretion is advised, I guess, because half the stuff we're going to be talking about is like objectively untrue or just like straight up just like lies, like some of them at least. And then the other half of them are just like they just all devolve into someone being in the Illuminati or someone being like Satan or something like that. Which I don't know if we're going to talk about more of those because those are just kind of boring because they just all just fall into the same, I guess, pitfalls. But yeah, I guess we'll just like dive right into it.
You know?
Which one should we start with? I guess we'll start with the most famous one,
Yeah.
which
Tupac in
is,
Cuba.
yeah, this kind of transcends hip hop conspiracy theories. This is just like the conspiracy theory. Like you'd see this on a normal conspiracy theory video, which
Yeah.
is Tupac. He never died. He his death was like staged so he can move away to Cuba because he's like J. Cole. He's so humble. He just can't handle the fame anymore, and he needs to move to Cuba. I honestly haven't really done too much research on this like conspiracy theory because like I don't know. I don't believe it personally. I don't know if I
Yeah.
believe it, any of these, but like this one out of all of them, like I just don't see it whatsoever.
No, me neither. I think because there's like conspiracy theories about like nearly every famous person that dies or like
Yeah,
retires or what, like anyone who dies, they like all the fans. I think it's just their way of coping. It's just being like, oh, they moved to Cuba, they're still alive. Because
that
there's
is
one of these
exact.
about Michael Jackson, about like freaking every single person who dies.
That's like exactly what I was like planning to say. That like basically when someone dies, a lot of people's way of coping is trying to prove that they're still alive somehow. Like if you
Yeah.
remember when XXX Tentacion died, people were convinced,
Oh
literally
yeah.
convinced that this
This
was
was
him setting up his own death for his next album called No Pulse, which like is the most like they weren't trying to be like I guess offensive, but like that is literally the worst album name you could have if you're gonna fit like XXX Tentacion would fall off so hard if that actually happened. No one would think that's cool. Faking your death and then dropping an album called No Pulse, like that's just so lame.
yeah. The
But
fans would like it though, because I wouldn't be dead.
I remember it was like in eighth grade. I was in PE class, and XXX Tentacion's like Instagram account was still like posting stories and stuff because his like mom ran the account or something after he died. And I
Yeah,
remember someone came up to me and they're like, "Why are people saying XXX Tentacion's dead? He literally just posted on his story."
I
And I
remember
was like,
that.
I just was like taken aback that someone like actually believed that. XXX Tentacion's whole, I guess, death situation has a bunch of conspiracies.
I think
Like,
like really any famous person's death does.
yeah, it does. Like Tupac and Biggie, like there's so many conspiracies like surrounding that, and I feel
Yeah,
like XXX Tentacion almost gets to that level, especially
especially
like
like
if you
if you
remember when it
remember.
first happened, there was this guy named Soldier Kid. Do you remember
Oh
that?
yeah, yeah, I do remember
He
that.
he was this Florida rapper who like basically he posted a picture on Instagram of him wearing a red mask, and apparently like the murderer of XXX Tentacion was also wearing a red mask. So like they connected the dots. Florida rapper XXX Tentacion was in Florida. This dude's wearing a red mask, and he also has an album coming out called like XXX or something like that. So people quickly jump to the conclusion that he was the murderer. And there's like, if you go back to like the posts from that time, you can see like verified accounts like Sky Jackson saying like, what you did was messed up and you deserve the fullest justice. Like people literally thought he was convicted at that point, but he didn't do it. He wasn't involved whatsoever, but he kind of like got some free clout from that situation.
Wow, imagine killing someone and then posting a selfie of your disguise. Like, who's gonna do that, bro?
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of conspiracy theories have to do with coincidences, right?
Yeah,
And I think that's just a perfect example that like just because coincidence happened doesn't mean they mean anything.
yeah,
Like
true.
with what's his name, Soldier Kid, and then the other conspiracy theory with XXX Tentacion, which is pretty similar actually, is Drake. Drake like sent a hitman after
Oh
XXX
yeah,
Tentacion, and there's like a court hearing going on right now about it.
yeah.
But
He posted before he died, not like right before, but if anyone kills me, it was Drake.
yeah, I remember that. And also
Yeah,
like, what song is it? It's like, do you remember I think it's Guile Chester maybe,
yeah. It's that one. I don't
where
remember how to pronounce it.
and then he goes XXXX. That's the only time I shoot below the neck or something like that. Like he did it, but like, or does he say above the neck? I don't remember. But like
I don't
that,
know.
I feel like that's just like another like coincidence thing. That's just like a normal like murder bar from Drake, I guess.
Yeah.
We have another perfect segue since we're talking about Drake. Should we pull it off again?
The
Or do you want to talk about something else that you're more interested in?
that Drake's industry plan, is it that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can talk about that one. This one's like
Base
very likely. Like it. I'd be
yeah.
more surprised if he wasn't, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Like, cause he copies everyone's like all the different styles throughout time. Like he just copies it. He hasn't like created his own sound and like really revolutionized rap. He just does something super popular and then gets like the most popular for it. So people say that um he's just an industry plant. He's not like an actual artist.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. He gets uh a lot of extra push from like Spotify and just music industry as a whole.
Yeah, for sure. Like definitely more than any other artist I've ever seen. You just
Yeah.
see like I remember in like 2018, 2019, it was definitely the worst. Like you couldn't even open Spotify without like some like Drake playlist just being on your front page.
Yeah.
Also part of the theory is like basically he has a background in acting. He was an actor on like TV shows before um he was a rapper. So like they're saying like since he's an actor, they chose him because he's able off to like pull off different styles better and he can like play the part better than like some random schmuck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like a I guess like a Truman Show type thing, like that he's always playing an act, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of part is a little fictitious. But yeah, I feel like if he's not an industry plant, he definitely gets more benefits from the industry than anyone else. Like that's just a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what your definition of an industry plant is because like the what most people think of it is like a person who the industry picked out to like be the most famous, but I think it's more likely that he would like try to actually be a rapper and like he's genuine, but they just promote the hell out of him like way more
Yeah,
than anyone else.
yeah.
I think
I
that's a
think
truth.
when you go back to like Drake's older songs, it's pretty funny because he was always remixing random songs. Like he has like
Oh
that
yeah,
accordion remix.
accordion.
I
That
think
one's
he has
fire,
another.
bro.
Oh, what's the other one? Crap, man.
By
I
who?
don't by Drake. He like covered like a pop song. I want to say it
Uh,
was like I want to say it was like a Kate Bush song.
I don't
I
know.
might I might be wrong. Maybe I'll look into that later and then I can give you a little editor's note to like insert what song I'm talking about. But yeah, Drake, he's just a weird guy in general. So that's just because he's a weird guy, he's just gonna have those conspiracies like floating around
Yeah.
him. And because he's so big, obviously, anyone who's big will be part of the Illuminati.
I think or I don't think, but like what if Drake is just like they promote him so much to try and beat Kanye? Like the CIA doesn't want Kanye to be like the most famous rapper because he's just so out of control, and then they just promote the hell out of Drake to try to beat him.
Um,
That would make a
Perhaps
lot of sense.
it makes like a little bit of sense, I guess, but I don't know.
Do you remember the one about how Kanye talked about how he was like mind controlled by the CIA, or not by the CIA, but he just feels like they control his mind.
Oh yeah, that's another like conspiracy theory. Like we were watching like a video on this for research, and like there's like three or four that like I think Kanye and Eminem are both like mind controlled or something, and like
I
their
don't even
proof.
remember the Eminem one.
Well, basically the proof for Eminem was like he just like stuttered during an interview, or he just like went blank during an
Oh
interview, which
yeah,
is
that one
like
was so
come on,
stupid. That's
yeah,
just
I'm like
Eminem.
yeah, like that just happens to people like normally, like people
Well,
go
did you see
blank
the
all the time.
video of it?
There was like two videos. There's one where it was like a sports broadcast, and he was obviously trolling
Yeah.
with the sports broadcast, and the other was just like a normal interview, and he just kind of went blank during that.
Oh,
But like,
I don't remember the
I
second video.
I feel like that's a normal thing to do because like
Yeah.
interviews are just awkward in general.
Yeah, especially on TV.
But yeah, maybe Kanye is under mind control.
Well,
Like,
here's the thing, bro. Is that you know how the CIA used to have like MK Ultra and trying to control
yeah,
people with LSD? Like
yeah,
that's proof that they were interested in it. And like all those documents are released now, so people think like, "Oh, they can't be doing that because LSD doesn't give you mind control powers." But like most likely they kept researching into that and maybe they figured out a way how to do it and then they actually are controlling his mind because like he said it's like through social media and stuff like that, and if you're gonna think of a way to control a population's mind, like social media and like online content in general, that seems like the most effective way, you know.
yeah. I really hope that Kanye is under mind control. Like, I just want to believe that he's not saying these things the last couple months. You know,
No, I think that's him breaking out of the mind control.
if that's the way to break out of mind control, I don't think it's working, bro. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like uh the mind control theory, I guess. I mean, I like I said, like there's rarely any of these that I believe, but like
Yeah. No,
those
I don't
type of
think he's
ones
mind controlled either.
yeah, those ones I'm just like, bro. But the one that is like it's technically not even a theory because it's just true. It's just something that's happened is MF Doom body doubles.
Oh yeah.
Basically MF Doom he's one of the most like mysterious presences in the music industry of all time. Like no one really can predict him. So something he used to do was for concerts, instead of like coming out for the concert, he would literally just like send
Stay in
like
the
a
closet.
yeah, he wouldn't oh my god. Tom Cruise. Basically he would just send a random like fat black guy out there to just pretend to be MF Doom for like an hour, and then he would just run away with the money. And he got like caught doing that like several times, and apparently he even had Hannibal Buress do it, which is like he's like a comedian. He was on the Eric Andre show. He's like the guy in the back on the Eric Andre show.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Of course I know what you're talking about.
I didn't know if you were in touch with Hannibal Buress, but
Bro,
apparently
I
I was
used to love the
mistaken.
Eric Andre show.
Yeah,
Do you not
same
remember
man.
that? I was obsessed.
Well, like yeah, yeah, okay, I remember. But yeah,
Okay.
they just sent Hannibal Buress in like a duct tape mask out and said it was MF Doom, which that was like for an Adult Swim thing, so it's like I guess less like messed up. But like there was definitely one where it was like low key messed up because like a bunch of people paid basically to see MF Doom, and it was just a body double. Like I'd be pretty
Yeah.
pissed if that happened to me. But I guess it also just kind of adds to the legend of MF Doom, just the fact that like if you really see him for real, then like it's a special occasion, I guess, especially because he's no
True,
longer
yeah.
with us.
Do you think that goes to like isn't the reason why he wears a mask? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but didn't he say it's because he wants people to focus on the art and not focus on him?
Um, he probably said something along the lines of that. I can't fact check it, but I'm sure
Yeah, I think
he
he said
says it.
something like that in an interview. But if that's true, then like sending someone else out on stage is like the ultimate form of that because then it's truly just the art and not about him.
Oh, that's facts. It's just like because I think they're just lip syncing. Maybe they're rapping. I should have looked up a clip of it to see
Yeah,
like if
true.
it's
I
just
should have
like
too.
if it was just like a random schmuck rapping. Because I'm sure Hannibal Buress was the guy rapping because like that just sounds funny.
Yeah, the other people are
Like
probably just lip syncing.
yeah, I really like the MF Doom body double theory because it's just
Yeah, it's not even a
there's
theory. It's just
yeah
it's happened. I saw this one
yeah
concert though where he had the body double come out and it was like obviously not him and he was rapping like super bad and the fans all started booing and got super mad at him and then the real MF Doom came running out and they all got hyped.
yeah.
So that
He
was
was a
pretty
troll.
cool.
MF Doom was like a troll, like certified. He would toy with his fans a lot. That was just kind of
Yeah.
part of his like mysterious presence too. Speaking of mysterious, if there's only like one rapper more mysterious than MF Doom, and that's Mr. Fantastic, who's
Yeah.
he's just that random guy on MF Doom albums, and no one knows who he is. Like to this day, like people are still like theorizing who is Mr. Fantastic. Like some people thought it was like a big rapper putting on like a fake voice, pretending to be someone else, and then some people just think it's his random friend, which is probably the case. It's just probably like his like roommate or something who just wanted to hop on a couple songs.
He's good though. That's the thing is like
Yeah,
it
he is
sounds like
good.
a real rapper. Like when we were doing MF Doom discography review, I was trying to like look more into Mr. Fantastic because I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good,
You can't
and he's literally just only on two songs. I think it's just two, but
actually. I think there might be a
a
third or
third.
fourth, like from his like earlier days. But yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Fantastic, he's a good rapper, but like he just doesn't exist. He's just off the grid. Like no one knows who he is. So there's just because of that fact, there's just endless amount of theories of he's another rapper. Then there's people who just try to like I guess rationalize it, just a random guy. And then of course there's the he's AI. He was just like AI back in the 2000s, and that was like predicting like Chat GPT and stuff, I guess, which
that
is
makes a lot
obviously
of
straight.
sense.
Yeah, definitely. MF Doom just like he was in touch with that supervillain technology back then. Like he wasn't
Yeah.
playing a character. He literally had an evil layer.
Bro, speaking of evil, there's like so much of these conspiracies end in people being evil. Like
Yeah.
3-6 Mafia are Satanists and
Okay.
freaking like the Death Grips one. Drain Gang, there's a theory about Drain Gang being evil. Like so many of these like just about rap in general. Like there's so much like satanic imagery like behind the scenes, like in music videos and everything. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
There is definitely satanic imagery in some of it, but then there's also the people who just like play a song backwards and it sounds like he says like devil. They're like, "See?
Yeah.
See?" Those people are the worst. But like
Yeah.
an interesting one like was what the first one you said was 3-6 Mafia is like Satanist, which like I mean like that's kind of a easy like slam dunk 3-6 six six
Yeah.
six like that. But like basically why that theory was interesting to me is because I feel like they're so obviously not Satanists. They're just basically doing what Cemetery does, you know. They're just playing that
Yeah.
I'm a horror villain. And they did that back in the 1990s. But the thing about this theory is that basically they rapped over like Memphis rap production, right? Which Memphis rap was kind of the foundation for trap music. And trap music is now like the biggest thing in the world.
Doesn't
So people, the theory goes is that 3-6 Mafia did some like satanic curse to like make trap music, which is it's so stupid, but it's just funny to think about.
So they made trap music by just being satanic? Is that what it is?
Um, bro, I don't know how satanic rituals work, but like basically, the theory is just like they did like a curse to like plague the population with trap music,
I
and
see.
like they're a very influential rap group, you know, like
Yeah.
so many people draw influence from them, even if they don't even realize it. So they're basically saying like the reason that happens is because like they did like some satanic deal with the devil or something like that.
This like
Instead,
revolves to the. Oh, you go. What were you gonna say?
I just think it's funny that people will draw that conclusion instead of just like saying that the music sounds good.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy rationalization to, rather than they just made a new genre of good music.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say this goes back to, wait, why do you have NRA helps fund gangster rap? It's like the
I'll
prison system, not NRA.
there's both.
There's
I'll
both.
talk about both. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say this goes back to how like there's a conspiracy where the prisons like own stocks in or no, record labels own stocks in prisons. That's the one that I'm reading. I'm
Yeah.
I'm tripping right now. But that's why like rap in general is so, there's so much like just like bad bad themes like murder and robbing people and stuff. And if you look at like what hip hop used to be, like people think of it like it was always like that, which it was. Like there's gangster rap, but a lot of it was also like there's like conspiracy theory rap where like artists would be talking about like the government and the Illuminati and stuff. And
Yeah,
that's
like
not to
Public
say that it
Enemy.
was true, but like there's stuff like that. And then MF Doom where like people have their like themes, like Wu-Tang Clan, and now like all the popular stuff is literally all just about murder.
Yeah. Or doing drugs or whatever. So like
Yeah,
basic
exactly.
that they're just saying like these artists are not actually making art. They're just trying to make people do crime so they go to prison so they can collect some cash, which
Yeah.
pretty crazy. It's a, again, these are all just like theories. They're not, we're not trying to say that they're true, but like that one is always I just kind of fun to think about, I guess.
Yeah.
On a
That's what
similar
Kanye
note,
was talking about.
you have the NRA helps fund gangster rap because, you know, gangster rap, they're always talking about popping people, killing
Uh-huh.
people with guns. And the NRA is the National Rifle Association. So basically, they're saying
Sick.
like the NRA helps fund gangster rap so people will want to go buy guns because they hear their favorite artists talking about guns. So they'll go buy a gun. So then the NRA gets richer.
So I don't know exactly what the NRA is, but I assumed it was just like a club for people that own guns. Like wouldn't they not make money from the sale of guns? Or am I
Well,
wrong?
I don't know. It's not like a club. It's like a crap. What is it called? Like an interest group for the government. Basically, I guess their theory is that they'll join the NRA. I guess if they get a gun or something. I don't know. I don't know how it
Oh,
works. It's a stupid theory. Of course, it doesn't make sense.
yeah. Bro, we should have talked more about Drake because
You have another Drake one?
yeah, cuz you know the OVO owl, how
Yeah.
they say he's an industry plant. Basically, people are saying that the OVO owl is it represents the god Moloch, which is the same it's basically like a super old god that you had to like sacrifice something like really big to, and like he's like evil or whatever, like so you have to, usually it's like child sacrifice, and
Damn.
basically that's like the same god that's you know Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, Bohemian Rhapsody is a psyop, bro. No, but Bohemian Grove is it's basically this like club. Or no,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
Bohemian
know.
Club is this club. I'm just gonna explain it for all the people.
Okay.
Bohemian Club is like this club with a bunch of like rich people and the global elites who all run the world, and they all are in this club. And like once a year they go to this place called Bohemian Grove, and it's basically just a big huge gay orgy for 2 weeks. But at the start of it, they have this like basically they have this big statue of an owl, which is supposed to represent Moloch, and they like sacrifice a fake kid to it, but people say it's not a fake kid, it's a real kid, just covered in like sticks or whatever to look fake. But basically people think that the OVO owl is also representing Moloch, because if you look at the Bohemian Club, like they have a building in California, and there's like this big plaque on the outside of it, and it's got an owl that looks very similar to OVO. So people are saying that if he's an industry plant, he's just a part of Bohemian Club, and all the elites are propping him up, and that's why he's an industry plant, and he's evil and traffics children most likely.
Think about this.
What?
Adonis is screwed
Why?
because you said it's child sacrifice.
Oh shoot, bro. Bro, what if that's
Wait,
why he didn't want anyone to know about him?
bro, that's crazy. Pusha
That's his.
T saved Adonis' life.
Hey, you never know. He might still do it.
Pusha T. We could have like created our own theory about this that like Pusha T is like Jesus or something because he saved
Yeah.
Adonis' life or some stupid thing like that. Speaking of stupid things, bro, this one's not even like a theory. This is like literally just something that's true, and that is FBI. The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, has very close tabs on the rap game. Maybe not so much anymore, but back in the '90s, they had this like entire document, like 80 pages or whatever, just about Wu Tang Clan. Out of all things, Wu Tang Clan. If you know anything about music, they're just like nerdy uh rappers that just like pretend that they're in kung fu movies while they rap. It's just like it's pretty innocent, pretty harmless, but for some reason the FBI was kind of convinced that they were like more than that. They thought they're like a dangerous gang or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
they have like a whole entire like case on like Old Dirty Bastard. So people Old Dirty Bastard died, so people are trying to say, the FBI whacked Old Dirty Bastard, which I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
they did. I don't know.
I just want to know why the Wu-Tang Clan, because
Yeah, out
they
of
don't
all
seem like I just don't get why they would choose them. So that
that's like
kind of makes me think that they do it for everyone. Because why
that's like
Wu-Tang?
that's like tracking logic or something. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like just the most innocent little group of hip hoppers. No, but it drove like uh ODB crazy because he was saying that like
yeah,
people are following him around and stuff, and no one believed him, and he thought he was just like on crack. And then he died, and then the files come out, and they're like, oh, he actually was being followed by the FBI this whole time.
yeah, but it was probably a combination of that and the fact that like he was on crack. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's not a good mix, being followed by the FBI and like hard drugs.
No,
In fact, that might be one of the worst mixes you could possibly have.
possibly.
Um, another like I guess really famous theory is David Bowie predicted Kanye West with
Oh
Ziggy
yeah,
Stardust. This is just one of those things where you see one coincidence and then they just start trying to connect every dot possible, and
yeah.
it just becomes funny. It's like one of those things where it's like do you know like the JFK and Abraham Lincoln like coincidences?
No,
Basically like there's some weird things like basically like I forget all of them, but like their vice president like has like the same last name or something like that. It's just like stuff like that, and then eventually it devolves into JFK was in a Ford car and Abraham Lincoln was in the Ford Theater. They just
so
like
what's like the conspiracy about?
there's no conspiracy. It's just a list of coincidences. It's pretty
Oh,
interesting. You should look
nice. That
into
is
it. It's
interesting.
I guess it's a bit freaky, but like there's nothing conspiratorial about it. But
Yep.
this is kind of similar to that, I feel like, where you just see K West on the Ziggy Stardust cover. Kanye West? Is this entire album about Kanye West? Wait, there's a song called 5 Years, and Kanye West was born 5 years after it?
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Oh, maybe not five. Wait, let me fact check that. But yeah, and then eventually it devolves into going to his like last album, Black Star. You know what Kanye West is?
He's a black star.
What does that say?
Conspiracy confirmed. The
Yep.
CIA created David Bowie to create Kanye West in order to mind control the population and give us Drake.
Oh my gosh, that's
And
so
it's all
true.
to propagate child sex trafficking
And you
in
know who's gonna
California.
you know who will save us all?
Who?
Ice Spice,
Ice Spice.
because
I thought
she like stopped Drake from like because Drake like flew her on a plane over, and then she like shut him down, and he got all mad at her, like dropped a diss on her. So now getting revenge on Bohemian Grove, Ovo, and like Jeffrey Epstein or something. I don't know.
Ovo. Yeah. Who knows, bro? Maybe Ice Spice is Ice Spice and Pusha T are on the good side.
Yep, they're gonna form together and drop a collab album produced by Madlib.
One of these
Con-
series that I thought was just kind of funny is the Drain Gang is evil and corrupts your music taste. You remember
Wait,
that one?
I don't really remember that one, but there's one thing I do want to say just real quick. It's
Okay.
weird that both Drain Gang and Death Grips, they're both DG, right?
Yeah.
And they both have like a bunch of theories about them being cults.
True.
That's that's a
Maybe
that's a
DG
coincidence.
stands for something else.
It's Drain Grips.
Drain Grips. No.
That sounds disgusting, bro.
Drain Grips. Death Gang. Bro, that's what it stands for. Death Gang.
Death Gang. That
Death
sounds like
Gang.
that sounds like one of those stupid. Remember when everyone like had to put gang at the end of everything back in like 2018?
Yeah.
There's like that one kid who had like a sled and he would sled down the stairs and he would go sled gang. And then like eventually he did it and he just got like seriously hurt and had to go to the ER and just people just stopped caring about him. He got like a
Wait,
concussion.
was this
No,
like online or in real
yeah,
life?
it
Oh,
was
okay.
online.
I just
I
pictured like someone in school sliding down the stairs and I'm like, dude, I don't remember that.
yeah, bro. Then there's Supreme Patty. You remember him?
Oh yeah. The guy with
Shrimp
all the
Gang.
acne.
Yeah, Shrimp Gang.
Is that what he
Like
said?
what? Yeah, that was such a stupid era, bro. Gucci Gang.
Yeah. Gucci Gang.
We probably created our own gang at that time. I just don't remember what we said.
Probably.
It's probably like TWSS Gang.
Back of the bus gang. Something like that.
Yeah. Man. Oh yeah, Drain Gang. Go on about that.
Oh yeah. Basically the theory is that their music is secretly evil and it's supposed to corrupt your music taste and slowly make you not care about anything else in life and only like their music because in the video we watched, the guy was saying that he like read some Reddit account of someone saying that they used to have hobbies and stuff, and then they got into Drain Gang, and now they don't care about life, and all they want to do is sit around and drain all day. But I think it was
That's a
pretty obviously a troll. Like,
that's such a funny troll post, bro.
yeah, but cause like their music doesn't even have like that much evil stuff in it. Like, especially now, it's like very wholesome. Like, it's like very spiritual music.
Well, the whole like the cult thing like all stems from their recent tour because like they had like this like little poster that they like put up on like their set that had like a skull and crossbones and it said 999 or something like that or like
Oh, really?
333. Yeah, it's just like once you start repeating numbers and stuff, people are gonna get paranoid. And also like, okay, I have to look into this now. I should have researched this before.
I thought
So
333 was a good number, so.
it is a good number, I guess, but like basically like the skull they used was also like a very similar to like a cult skull, I guess, or something that
Oh,
and like I don't even remember, bro. And like apparently like Young Lean is like friends with this dude in a cult. But like Young
damn.
Lean is friends with everyone, it feels like.
Yeah, he is.
Like he was just randomly in that picture with Drake and Kanye and Baby Keem. Like why was he there? And why was he like
It's the most
crouching?
random photo.
Yeah, but I don't know. And okay, I have to find the cult thing. Oh yeah, it was like a TikTok I watched.
You know
Should
what
I
I
just
just
watch
realized?
what?
You know how people would say MF Doom is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Now that he's gone, like he still was, but I think Young Lean might have taken his place in being your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Because
I would,
a
he's
lot
like
of
the
popular
modern.
rappers have him.
Yeah, you got like Travis Scott, Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
No,
Do
sure
you think
there's more.
Kanye and Drake actually mess with Young Lean, or are they just like there by compliance? I guess just because he was like big. I guess.
Who, Young Lean, just because he's big?
Yeah, because of like Jing Shing Strip.
Yeah. Uh, I feel like they would probably like him, not just not just for the clout. Like they're the biggest rappers. No matter how big Young Lean is, they don't need a cosign when they're literally the two biggest rappers in the game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm like trying to
But who
pull. Okay,
knows?
honestly, I don't even care that much about the Drain Gang thing. Basically, it's just like there's a similar image they used to one in a cult. That was like the whole thing. So like again, you see one coincidence, and then you just like make the furthest stretch possible.
Yeah.
Which one of the, I think one conspiracy that actually freaked me out when I first like saw the video for it. It's a pretty famous one. Was that like Death Grips was somehow involved or somehow predicted or whatever. No one knows what the actual relationship is, but they were somehow connected to the Manchester bombing at the Ariana Grande concert, which this one gets into like numerology, which is kind of a, dare I say it, stupid thing because like I feel like you can connect anything with numbers if you really try hard enough. It's kind
Yeah.
of like that, you know, the like ESPN stat meme.
No.
Well, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy is the first player to score 3 touchdowns while wearing no socks, while also having a mom
Oh.
who is named Janice." It's
It's
like
like
kind
just
of,
the most ridiculous stuff.
yeah, it's kind of like that basically.
Yeah.
But this one kind of freaked me out. But I also learned this video was a bit fictitious. It was kind of lying. Basically, the whole theory goes is that they released an album called Steroids, or an EP called Steroids, the same day as the bombing. Apparently, 22 minutes before, there's 22 people who died in the bombing. 22, 22. You just saw that number everywhere. 22,
Yeah.
22. But the problem, oh yeah, the song was also 22 minutes long. But here's the thing: it didn't drop 22 minutes before, because the lady, I don't know if it was the lady who created this theory, but she was the one like announcing the video. They said that it dropped 22 minutes before on British Standard Time, which is just not true. She used BST, which isn't British Standard Time. That's British Summer Time, which is like a whole different thing that like no one uses. It actually
Oh.
dropped 3 hours after the bombing happened.
Oh,
Like
dang.
not 22 minutes whatsoever. But the song, I guess, is still 22 minutes long or whatever. But
Yeah.
that might just be a coincidence. And then another thing, as she said in the video, here's the smoking gun. They followed Ariana Grande on Twitter. Only Ariana Grande.
They did?
But it's kind of weird because it was the only
Oh
person they
wait,
followed.
that is kind of weird actually.
But I actually have an explanation for it. When you sign up for Twitter, you there's like this screen where it says choose someone to follow, and you can't get past it. You have to choose someone to follow.
Oh really? That makes
Yeah,
sense then.
they do that on like Reddit too. Like you have to like say topics you're interested in.
Yeah.
So they Ariana Grande is a huge celebrity. So they just probably randomly clicked something and then moved on with their day and just forgot to unfollow them.
Yeah. That
But
makes sense.
maybe I'm stretching. I don't know, but I just think that's weird. And then also that was part of the smoking gun is like they said violent things in their songs. Death Grips with violent lyrics, with like cryptic weird lyrics.
That's unheard of, bro.
Yeah, and then also like on I break mirrors with my face in the United States. That's like a tongue twister, low key. Shout out to MC Rad for rapping that so like gloriously.
Yeah, for real, he goes fast with that.
Basically, they say like at 2:22 you can hear a concert, you can hear crowd noise, and then there's a bomb that goes off. But like I don't hear the bomb whatsoever. I just hear like crowd noise, and then it just like
Uh,
goes back to the song, which is just like I guess a normal sample. But I don't know. That's me debunking this theory because it freaked
yeah.
me out back in the day.
I remember this video from back in the day too, but I never tried to debunk it. I was like, oh, it's just hella coincidences, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the thing. Like even if there all those coincidences happen, that doesn't mean it like correlation does not equal causation or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, maybe Death Grips has some weird things behind the scenes. I guarantee they have weird things behind the scenes, but I don't think they would somehow orchestrate the Manchester bombing. I think that's a bit fictitious. That's like my favorite word today, fictitious.
Fictitious.
It's kind of
You're
fire.
Mr. Fictitious.
Yeah, I should become an English teacher with this vernacular I got going on.
You'd be great at it. Speaking of coincidences, did you know that the '90s rap group Dipset actually did 9/11?
Bro. I looked up the album art after you said it, and
So
I was laughing. I was laughing, bro, so hard because like
yeah.
you made it seem like it was like a plane crashing in. Actually, you explain it first, and then I'll go on my little tangent.
Okay, so basically, they Dipset had this album art ready. They made it before 9/11 and stuff, and then they were supposed to drop an album. I think it was the day after 9/11, and their album art is of some building that has a plane. It basically, the picture is just a plane flying in the air, but if you were to look at it looking for a conspiracy theory, it could look like the plane is flying into the building, but the plane's like way smaller than the building, so it's
Yeah,
like supposed to be just far away in the background, but it is like the building and then the plane, so it's like it's going in the direction of it, but it's just like way farther away. So like the album art isn't supposed to look like 9/11, so it's kind of stupid, like the theory when you stop it there. Or I mean, that is the hip hop theory, which I think is pretty stupid. But I think it basically this points to a larger conspiracy theory that I have, that like all of human like knowledge. I mean, this isn't like entirely my conspiracy theory because there's been studies and stuff about it. But basically, all human knowledge is like connected in some way, and there's like a collective consciousness of all, like basically like as people, we're like aware of our life and stuff, but as a like the entire human population is aware and has some sort of intelligence that we either like can't tap into or we just don't know how to, or we are connected to it, we just don't realize it all the time. And so basically that's why there's things like the 9/11 cover from Dipset, and then there's a couple more art pieces that depict 9/11 that came out like around the time, or like yeah, that came out around the time of 9/11, or like just any time before 9/11, and people connect it to 9/11 and say like it's a conspiracy that 9/11 was fake or something. But I think really what happens is that like there's just this huge tragedy, that like this huge tragedy in the like overall human conscious collective consciousness, and that like manifests itself in like art in other ways before it even happens, and then even after it happens. But after it happens, it's just not a conspiracy, so people aren't looking into it. But there's this study by actually I don't remember who it was by, but they took a bunch of like little kids and made them memorize song lyrics in like a different language, and they found that the kids who basically they had one song that was a true song in like Chinese or something, and then another song that was just completely made up words that were supposed to sound like Chinese, and they were gonna see like which one they could memorize faster, and like
hmm
pretty much all of them memorized the true song in the language that they never heard. So like the conclusion, or one of the conclusions you could take from it, is that like that knowledge is in the collective consciousness, and then that they were able to draw from that to learn it quicker. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, kinda. I
But
kind of want to look into that study because like basically, if you're like learning something in Chinese, you're gonna have like things repeating, right? I guess, or like it's
I
like
don't even know. I don't know
it's
if
like
it
an
was
act.
Chinese either. I'm just an example.
Well, what I mean is like it's a language, so like it's kind of
Yeah,
like completely it's able to be learned no matter what, I guess. So
yeah.
like
No, I was
if you're
thinking the
just
same thing.
if you're just making up gibberish on the spot, like you would never connect that back to anything else. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain what I'm trying to think right now. But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, when I first saw that Dipset cover, I thought it would be like okay, so basically there's like these conspiracy theories about like 9/11 that like in cartoons they like predicted it or some crap like that.
The
And like those
Simpsons.
ones, yeah, not the Simpsons. There's like this one like I think it's like a GI Joe episode or something. And it's just like really weird how like specific it is. So like that one is like freaks me out a little bit. So I was expecting like something like that. Like it would literally be like the Twin Towers and there's a plane
Yeah,
crashing into it. But then when I look at the cover and it's just like it looks like the building from The Office or something. And then
yeah.
there's just
It's
like a
not even a
plane.
skyscraper.
Yeah, and then there's just like a plane in the far background. I was like, come
Yeah.
on. Like at
No,
least do
but
like the
that
cool
that GI Joe one, that could point to my theory of how there's a collective consciousness they drew that knowledge from, even though it was before it happened, because it's just such
Or
a massive tragedy in human history that it manifests itself in other ways.
yeah, the thing about the GI Joe thing is like you can sprout so many conspiracies from it because you could either do that or you could do the like the government did 9/11 or whatever because like you could
Yeah,
say GI Joe was like I don't know if it was GI Joe. It may have been a different show. I just remember seeing a YouTube video about it, which could mean that they're just like literally lying to me, you know? That's the thing about these conspiracy theories. Like people could literally just lie about them and I wouldn't really bat an eye. So that's why I said at the beginning of this episode that we might be just literally spreading misinformation because like with the death grips one, they literally just were lying. Like they were just untrue with what they were saying. So like that's the thing about
yeah,
conspiracy theories. You got to be a little careful or like look into it yourself a bit or you can
yep,
just check the comment section. Usually someone will just like out them
sure. I was gonna say something about I don't even remember.
about Drain Gang is evil. Oh, you know, it's a good
No,
one.
I already said that
A
one.
good. I know. I was geeking. I was trolling a
Oh,
little bit. I do a little bit of trolling. Have you heard the Gucci Mane is cloned one?
oh yeah, I have heard that one actually.
This one actually just makes me laugh because it's kind of funny, but it's like there's some I guess like merit behind it, but there really isn't. Basically, Gucci Mane goes to jail for like a couple of years. I don't remember how long. Then he comes back all like he's like skinnier, I guess, and like his tattoos are in different places or like his tattoos are missing. I'm like, maybe that alludes that like the prison system doesn't feed people very well and like he just got skinnier because he's not eating as much. But I don't know. Maybe that's a stretch. Maybe he was just cloned. That's why his tattoo is like no longer like stretching because it's on his lean belly.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely the case.
Yeah. There's something about clones that conspiracy theorists love. Like they are just
Yeah,
obsessed with like Eminem being. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Eminem is cloned because he can't do an interview properly. Just like anything, like sometimes like something doesn't go the way someone wants it to. They're just like, okay, they're cloned.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It'd be like the perfect thing for a record label, just to create your own human you can completely control. But I think they
Yeah,
just do that with the real people. They don't have to clone them for that, you know?
yeah. Um, a more recent, I guess it's not really a theory. It's just kind of something that people have been like digging into. Was the Secret Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt album? Have you heard about that?
Oh yeah.
That one, like, I really hope that's not a theory. I hope that's just true. Basically,
Well, didn't
there's
they say it's true?
I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe Alchemist said it's true. I don't know about Earl. So what if Alchemist was just geeking? Okay, I'll explain it for
Sure.
people who don't know. Basically, Earl Sweatshirt and the Alchemist, producer and rapper combination, they apparently have an entire album made together and they released it, but they just released it on just like some random YouTube channel and like or just some random website that wasn't linked to their name whatsoever. So people have been trying to look for it. But like
I'm pretty sure
if it
it's a
was
YouTube channel.
I feel like people would find it on YouTube, you know?
Well, the thing
Like
is even if you
people
find it and it's some random name, like there's so much fan made music out there. I don't
oh
think your
yeah.
first reaction would be, "Oh my God, this is the Secret Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt album." Like that's kind of a random conclusion to come to. Like if you found that album, because like I'm sure some people have, but you'd just be like, "Oh, this is some cool fan remake," like something like that, and not think anything of it, you know?
Yeah. Just something that I've like found out over the years is just like when the internet wants to find out something, they're gonna find it out, and they're
Yeah,
probably gonna find it out
that's
really
true.
fast. That's why I just kind of feel like Alchemist was just geeking, trolling, doing a little trolling on the side.
Maybe. But
Cause
at the
like,
same time, YouTube has such a massive catalog. Like I forget the statistic. It's probably way more now, but I heard it a while ago that like every minute there's like thousands of hours of video uploaded to YouTube. Like it is,
yeah,
it's like the biggest scavenger hunt to try to find a just like an hour long worth of content on YouTube. in like this massive sea of videos.
But it
So I
also has
agree
an
that the internet would find it, but it's probably just a matter of how long it would take because I can't imagine there's like so many, like, there's probably only a small group of people who care enough to search every single day for this one album, you know?
yeah, but there's also another thing is like the algorithm is also just so insane too. Like it could probably just hear like Earl's voice
Yeah,
for an hour straight and it would probably recommend it to someone who listens to Earl Sweatshirt a lot, you know? Like
true.
there's a lot of I guess conflicting things. I just see like stories of like people like just finding the most obscure things, especially like you know what the craziest thing is? People who
What?
are really good at GeoGuessr.
Yeah,
That
that stuff is crazy.
if people could do that, they can find that YouTube video, I feel like.
Bro, I see videos of like just any famous people, and they'll like show like outside of their apartment, like, oh, look at this view. And I'm like, these GeoGuessr motherfuckers are gonna figure out your exact coordinates and like map how like far away the buildings are to find out exactly what floor and everything you're on. Like, you gotta be super careful nowadays. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's just there's like that one guy with like the big forehead, no diss. Uh he's always just like just standing showing off his forehead, I guess. But uh he's
We'll
so
just
crazy at GeoGuessr. You'll just see he does these like this series where like it's like this is a picture of a trash can and it's flipped upside down and I only can see it for zero point 0.1 seconds and it's also in black and white. And then he'll be like, "Okay, yeah, that's Serbia." Just like
what the
immediately
fuck?
off the top of his head. Like he could beat me in GeoGuessr with that information versus me having like 10 minutes to look at the map,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
which is just
exactly.
insane.
I just
I
heard
don't,
like some voice feedback coming from your mic, so hopefully the audio from this isn't all jumbled up, but hopefully it was
yeah,
just Discord doing something weird.
yeah, it probably was. Um, have we looked at everything?
Um, no, we haven't
Oh,
talked about Cardi and Tupac.
this is
So,
kind of similar to the Kanye and David Bowie thing.
oh yeah. So basically, I'm pretty sure the day that Tupac died was the day that Playboy Cardi was born, or like the day after or something. Basically, as soon as Tupac died, Playboy Cardi was born. And like, is that the extent of the theory? I forget if there's any more details to it or if it's just that.
Um, wait, I want to see something. I think there's like a little bit more to it.
I feel like there's got to be to make a good theory.
Where was Tupac shot in the head?
I don't think so, because he was alive for a couple days and then he died in the hospital.
Okay, because what I was about to say is like I vaguely remember someone saying like his birthmark is like related to Tupac getting shot or something like that. Because
Oh,
Cardi has a
really?
birthmark on his cheek, so
Yeah,
like
that'd be crazy.
if he got shot. But another thing is like apparently they have like pretty similar noses,
What? Bro, what the fuck?
so like that's the reason why.
Yeah, you can really
Um,
make a conspiracy out of anything if you try hard enough.
yeah, for sure. Especially if you start getting coincidences involved, like you can find a coincidence for anything, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you look hard enough, it's something's there.
I just think the Cardi Tupac one is the funniest because it's just like you know Cardi's way better than Tupac.
Yeah. I mean, I think like they're not better, but like he's more. Although I don't know, cause I didn't listen to rap back in where Tupac, like during that time. But I feel like Tupac
Yeah,
wasn't
you weren't
as.
alive.
Yeah, I feel like Tupac wasn't as genre shifting as Cardi is. But
Yeah,
I'm only listening to the post Tupac era, so I don't really know.
I think this I guess just to like pad some time. Another weird kind of thing about Biggie Smalls' death. I always just found it weird that his last album was like about him dying. Like
Yeah.
that always just kind of freaked me out a little bit. Like what is it
So
called?
that life after death,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that could go back to the my collective consciousness theory, where
No, it was called
Like,
Ready to Die.
oh really? Oh, Life
Yeah,
After Death is the
that's his
one they
posthumous
released
album.
right after he died.
Yeah.
Damn, I was wrong. But no, like maybe he wasn't consciously aware of the fact that he was gonna die, but subconsciously he was connected to the collective consciousness, and he was like focused on his death because he was about to die and he didn't realize it, but he knew it.
Or hear me out. Hear me out.
What?
Maybe like he he's been in a dangerous situation his entire life.
Yeah.
Like he's in gangs and stuff, and like he's had many close encounters with death, and like maybe he just wanted to make an album about how he might die. Oh yeah, speaking of 9/11, Biggie Smalls, this all circles back. Remember when he
What
says
is it?
blow up like the
Oh,
World Trade, even
yeah.
though there was like a bombing at the World Trade Center like 2 years prior, like, and
Yeah.
that's what he was referencing. Loki, that's like an out of pocket bar.
I don't
Like,
think so. Like we're thinking about it now because like so many people died, but back then it was just like a small little explosion, you know.
yeah,
Like I'm
but
sure it
like
was still like a tragedy, but you know.
still, bro. I saw this video about this is just so random, but I saw this. It was a really interesting video about this about all the like flash games that happened at on the night of 9/11. Like people just like rushed to make flash games about 9/11.
What
It
the
was
heck?
really it's just a weird topic, but like it was interesting because he like saw the
Yeah.
like weird controversies about it. And then also there was how he opened the video was like how when the Titanic sank, that was like I guess the 9/11 of like the 1900s. A lot of people died. It was a very big tragedy. Uh,
Uh-huh.
they made a movie about the Titanic literally a month after it happened and like released it. Like they made it and released it within a month, which is actually
Dang.
pretty impressive.
Yeah,
But like,
that's very impressive.
but it's also pretty insensitive. Like imagine if they made a movie about 9/11 like a month after it happened.
Well, there are many movies about 9/11, but
Yeah, there are. But like there's a couple years after, you know.
not the type of movies you're thinking of.
Oh, you're thinking about the conspiracy ones, like
Yeah.
those like stupid bootlegs that you find like at the back of the Blockbuster. Yeah, that was hip hop conspiracy theories. Like I said, we're not trying to say like any of this crap's true. Just wanted to talk about stupid little fun little things to think about because hip hop is a very historic genre and it's fun to see all the little theories and little things that repeat themselves like with Tupac and XXX like all those
Yeah.
similar theories. So yeah, have a blessed day and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Don't listen to Luke Dipset did 9/11.